Cast. Let's go back inside to Annette.
Okay, thanks so much, Brian. Opioid dependency is growing across Canada. Most start with legitimate prescriptions after an injury or an illness, and then for some, things get out of hand. Cull was one of those people, but he beat his dependency and did something about it. And this is part of the film that we're watching right now, inspired by example.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So many people, we hear they have surgery, they're given Percocet or they're given OxyContin, and then some people get addicted, others don't. But it's easy to fall into that trap.
Well, absolutely. It's like, for example, OxyContin is one molecule different from heroin, so it's just the potential for the dependency is very high, and the potential for addiction to set in. I interviewed people for my film who'd never had a problem in their entire life, and then had an injury or surgery, and then were prescribed it, and just it ruined their whole family.
Yes, yeah, we hear so many stories about that. Professionals and everything who just all of a sudden, how did they get to that point? A lot of it was these drugs.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, and it's excuse me, it's really tragic to speak with these people and hear their stories, and because I know what it's like to go through it on a personal level, but to hear it from their end and just see how heartbroken they are and how many people this is affecting at this point, it's shocking. It's stunning. Your dependency
did not start from an injury or an accident or surgery, but it was the death of your father.
Yes, I was 22 years old. My father, he had Huntington's disease, which is a neurodegenerative disease, and he took his own life after years of trying to do so, and he succeeded when I was 22, and I just wasn't maturely nor emotionally developed enough to handle it properly, and it really escalated quite quickly up to using 580 milligram OxyContins a day for 2 years.
Wow. So what made you realize that you kind of hit bottom, and then you went and you produced this great film?
I lost everything that meant anything to me. 6 figures I spent on drugs within the 2 years. I lost my girlfriend of 3.5 years, lost my house, but that being said, I think it would have been maybe a little bit different route to get to this point had I known what my resources are, and I think it's so key that everybody understand opiate addiction and what the effects are, what to look for, and to figure out how it applies to that person. But a great website is orbok.ca, powered by Indivior, which has all the information and clinic locators to help with emotional and medical needs pertaining to the issue.
Did they help you?
I went through a harm reduction program, but I didn't know that much about what the dependency was or what it was doing to my body while I was going through it, other than what I was feeling. So as these numbers start going up higher and higher, I think it's more like the pivotal thing is that we get educated on it.
Well, there are about 400,000 people in this country alone who are dependent right now. So you did something last year. You went, you cycled across Canada. You came through the Golden Horseshoe as well,
yes.
and that's where your journey kind of, the filming here is inspired by example, which you just submitted to Sundance. You said.
Yes,
that's pretty cool.
Yesterday just submitted it. So. Yeah, my film goes through my entire story and just the hardships of what it's like to be opiate dependent, but also what it was like for me to get out of it. And so part of my film was going across the country and doing all these things that I couldn't do, that I wanted to do when I couldn't travel. So I hit golf balls off the mountaintops of BC, jumped out of an airplane in Montreal, whitewater rafted in Northern Ontario, etc. So. It was quite the adventure. So.
We have about a minute left, but I just want to know for viewers out there who may have family members who are taking these drugs for whatever reason, is there a clear-cut sign of, okay, you're starting to become a little too hooked or dependent on this drug?
What happened with me is I just kind of led a double life, but change of behavior, lack of appetite, cold sweats, hot flashes, runny nose. There's a lot of symptoms, but again, the great place to go for all that information is orbok.ca. And if you want to follow my journey, I'm doing the ride again next year. So.
Yeah, which is cool. And are you going back to a lot of the same places where you were last year to kind of meet up with people again, say, hey, how you doing? Because you met up with a lot of other people who are dependent or just coming off of it.
Yes, that's the plan. I'm hoping to meet up and see how they're doing now, and just catch up with everybody, and do public speaking across the country as well.
To show that you got through this, you can too.
Exactly.
Right.
But if you want to follow my journey, go to inspiredbyexample.ca, and if you want to check out my trailer, same place.
Okay, we'll get that link up on our website, chch.com. Chris, thanks so much for sharing your story. It's a very brave story to tell.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Okay,
It's been
you're
an
going to be
honor.
back with more Morning Live right after this.